Hi everybody, and welcome to the next video in my series, What are the best drugs for cluttering? And the reason that I'm answering this video is the same reason I answered I can't remember if it was the last one or the one before that is that this is actually the second most common question that I've gotten, and at first it really confused me, like why would you want to take drugs for a speech disorder? And well, actually, it still confuses me. My best theory is that there are just people on the internet that actually, that's my second best theory. That my best theory is that people are just super desperate to try and help out with people's speech, and they're hoping that there are some drugs that can help. So one of the biggest problems with drugs and cluttering is that nobody really understands cluttering. And if you give a drug to something that you don't understand, then the odds of it actually helping or getting better are very low. And I'm sure it's theoretically possible, like give every single drug possible to a group of clutterers, and then see which ones work and which ones don't, which will probably be most of them. So anyway, the other thing is that, and actually maybe I'll get to my point, is that there are no drugs that are good for cluttering. The best thing that's good for cluttering is therapy, speech therapy, and so anyway, that's what I recommend. But one of the big problems is pretty much all of everything with cluttering is, it seems all for me, it's probably only like 20-30% is about slowing down the clutterer's speech rate. And so if there were drugs for cluttering, then right now in the last like 10 years, the test would be, does this slow down the clutterer's speech? And so there's a whole group of drugs out there, they're called sedatives, which slow down your speech, but just because drugs are slowing down your speech doesn't mean that your cluttering is fixed or solved, or even that it got helped out at all. So, and that's not my belief. My belief isn't that slowing down speech fixes cluttering. It certainly makes the symptoms appear less. And I made a kind of funny video. It's called "How to Get," or I thought it was funny. I don't know if anyone else can even make it through the video. But it's called "How to Give an Interesting Presentation," and my speech is very slow, so you should check that out. And I don't clutter in that at all. Maybe I noticed one word where I said it a little bit wrong. But basically I have 10 minutes of me talking and not cluttering at all due to my speech being slower. But the problem is I can't speak like that, and I don't want to speak like that. I don't want to speak slow, I want to speak fast. Actually, the thing that I think, my recommendation to speech language pathologists is teach clutterers how to speak fast, don't teach them to slow down. And of course, like if you're talking to your old grandpa who's deaf, then it's a good skill to have to know how to speak slow. And I, for a hobby, teach an English class at work, and in teaching an English class, I have to speak slowly, otherwise nobody can understand me, since they're not native English speakers. But anyway, that's a whole different subject of why I think teaching clutterers to speak slowly is kind of a waste of time. But anyway, back to the drugs. So I don't know about too many drugs, but I'll just walk through what I think with each of the drugs. how that would impact cluttering. So I think like if the goal is to slow down clutter's speech, which I don't think that's what the goal should be, but if that is what the goal is, then something like ketamine, which basically puts you into a self-induced coma, would reduce cluttering. It also probably reduces any speech that you get, but anyway, the side effects the side effects definitely aren't worth it, and I think the goal should be coherent. I think the goal should be for people to be able to understand you, not for you to not have disfluency. So just because you're not speaking, well, if you're not speaking, you're not cluttering. And that's what would happen with ketamine, and so I just like that's not a great drug for that's not a great drug for clutters. Option number two. Actually, one that might work is one of the things I've noticed is if I'm really distracted, then I clutter more. And so if you have a pounding headache, then the drug of aspirin, like if I'm really in pain, then generally my cluttering is going to be worse, especially if I have to do something and deal with the pain, and I'm just constantly distracted by the pain, and so I can't really focus on my voice and my fluidity of speech. And so if you have a pounding headache, then aspirin probably actually will help, and that's actually through racking my brain over all of the drugs that you could possibly use. Then aspirin when you have a headache is the only one that I could think of that would actually help and work and reduce cluttering in some situations. Okay. The other obvious one is like if the goal is to slow down your speech, which I don't think that's what the goal should be, but if that is the goal, then something then a drug that naturally slows down speech is alcohol, and but that slows down and slurs your speech. And one of my theories on cluttering is that stupid people can't clutter. It's only really smart people that clutter, because stupid people, well, and I don't think anyone's really stupid, but one of the ways of reducing cluttering would be to stop thinking about so much, stop trying to describe so much, stop trying, just if you just sit back and say, whoa, hey, hi, what's up? See, my speech was perfectly fluid, but I'm not really saying anything smart or... so anyway, if you reduce your mental capacity, then you're probably going to be cluttering less, because you don't have so much that you're trying to describe. You're not what you're trying to describe is much simpler. But I think all the effects of alcohol are you're not gonna drink a couple Long Island iced teas and then have great speech. You might feel like your speech is great, but it doesn't actually work. So alcohol's I think my guess is that you're going to clutter. You're going to have just as much cluttering before and after. Some people, like if the only thing that you're looking on speech is speech rate, then yeah, alcohol might seem to make your speech better because it's slowing your speech, everything about you down, because it's a sedative. But like I said, don't drink to try and not have cluttered speech, because it doesn't work. The other drug is marijuana, and I've personally never used marijuana. I personally think it should be legalized everywhere, but but I don't use it. I haven't used it. I don't think I'll use it in the future. And the reason why is I feel like I have a pretty good handle on how profound that I am. Like sometimes I think I say profound things. Sometimes I think I say really cool things. But then a lot of times, like a lot of times I make jokes and nobody understands them, or a lot of times I think something's awesome, but it's really not awesome. And so I think I have a good handle on it. I think I like in my head I'm like great this percentage of the time, and I think in reality I'm great like this percentage of the time, and I'm not sure what percentage it is, but like I think I've got a pretty good handle on that. Some of the times I'm awesome, some of the times I'm not. And I've noticed that all of my friends, or not all of my friends, especially not you who are watching this video right now, but a lot of my friends, and I've noticed this, that when people smoke pot or like use marijuana, then it seems like they have a like instead of saying, oh well, yeah, half of my ideas are good and half of my ideas are bad, like when you're using marijuana, then it's like 100% of your ideas are good. Like, whoa, hey, I've got a great idea for a new toaster and it's just so awesome. And so anyway, I like with me, I realized that, hey, well, I've got a great idea for a new toaster, and it's like it probably could work. Actually, I probably have like 3 ideas for new toasters, but I don't think they're all awesome, and I don't think like intrinsically those ideas are great. And even though marijuana seems like it would be cool, just like anytime you take a drug, it kind of rewires your brain, and I like my brain the way it is right now. So yeah. Anyway, that's I guess my long story of why I'm not trying marijuana. But the reason I bring it up is that marijuana is like touted as the cure for everything, and like I even watched a video on autism where marijuana now cures autism, and so probably lots and lots of people think that marijuana cures it cures this, 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 and yeah, I think there's lots and lots of benefits to it. That's why I support legalization of it, or decriminalization of it. Because legalization's bad, but decriminalization's not. And anyway, that was kind of a side point. So where was I? Oh, so anyway, the thing about my like one of the things I've mentioned, and I'll keep mentioning, is that when I am fixing my cluttering, part of what I'm doing is rewiring my brain so that it's more organized, so that like before I started working on my cluttering, I had a different way that I think than how I speak. And one of the ways that I've been trying to improve my speech is to get it so that the way that I think is more in words and more like translatable to speech, because when I first started trying to get what was in my head out, I realized, oh well, I have to like translate that into English, because I'm not really actually like thinking in English, and so I can't actually go from what's in my head to speech very well. So anyway, a lot of my goal is to integrate, or to rewire my brain in a very, very specific way that helps me to be much more fluid in speech. And from what I can tell about marijuana, if I used it, then it would do everything like opposite of the way I'm trying to do that. So anyway, if you like marijuana, I think that's cool. But personally, I don't recommend it as a cure for cluttering, and I don't recommend anything else drug-wise. All I recommend is speech therapy, and watch all the rest of my videos. I think that will help too. And practice. I guess one other thing. I heard somewhere that vitamin C was a drug, and I didn't. I was going to look it up on Wikipedia to see if that's actually true. But if vitamin C is a drug, then I recommend that to take vitamin C every day. It only helps you lots and lots of benefits. It's really hard to get to take too much, and as far as I can tell, no drawbacks. So anyway, that's my video. Don't do drugs, kids, and go talk to your speech therapist because they're the ones with the answers. Thanks very much, and have a great day.